Right, okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's get started without any further delay. Right, okay, welcome back to our lesson. We are here having a GCSE class with my students, Umar, Hamza, Sumaya, Zishan. Okay, let's have a look. What we're going to be looking at today is some of the basic ideas of algebra, solving one-step equations, two-step equations, three-step equations, and double-sided equations. Having a quick quick run through these type of questions that we're all familiar with, so making sure that we got the rules correct. Then we're going to move on to some questions that we're going to do in the class. So first of all, let's look at one-step equations. Let's look at the idea behind them. So we have x add 6 is equal to 11. So we always start with the x and we read the question. X has been added by 6. So we call this the first action. It's the first thing to be done to it. And so what do we do now, Umar? Opposite of add 6 is? Minus 6. So you see an arrow with a little baby minus 6 there. Copy the x down. Copy the equal down. 11 minus 6 will give us a total of 5. And that's that one-step question done very quickly without too much difficulty. Okay. Mr. Hamza, right, next question over here. Can you read it for me, please? What does it say? It says x
over 3.
Okay, x over 3 is a common student response. Can you read it more mathematically, please? X, what's the line stand for?
Divided by
Lovely. So that read again is x divided by
3.
That's much better, equals
4.
Lovely. So now we start again at x. X has been divided by 3. Opposite of divide by 3 is? Times by 3. So x is equal to 12. Okay. Right, next question, Umar, your question. You start at the x. Read the equation to me, please. It says x
minus 7 equals 8.
Okay, so the minus 7, we call this our first action. So we have to check it to the other side. So the opposite of minus 7 is?
Plus 7.
So what we're doing here, we're changing side, changing sign. So to solve the x, we must get rid of the minus 7, so we throw it over. So as it gets thrown over, it changes from a minus to a plus. This is the basics of all algebra that we do in terms of the solving equations. Okay? So, but this is all one step at the moment. It starts getting a bit more exciting when you get 2 and 3 steps, but it's all involves the same idea. Change side, we change sign. So 8 add 7 will give us a total of?
15.
Okay, lovely. Now the next question, Sumaya, can you read this question to us? What does it say?
3x equals 30.
Okay, what does the 3x mean? Between the 3 and x there is an invisible times. So that is saying x times by 3. So if you start at the x has been tripled. We got to get rid of the 3, take it from the left to the right. So as we take it over, the time by 3 becomes a?
Divided by 3.
Okay, we change side, so we do the opposite. So now we have a total of x is equal to 30 divided by 3. X is equal to? 10. Nice and straightforward. Quick review on one-step equations, but this technique will come all the way through all the other harder questions. Okay, let's move on without any further delay. So we're 3 minutes into our video. I want to get this done within roughly about 5-6 minutes. Now, this next question here, let's have Zishan. Zishan, can you read the question to me from here to there, and then let's see if we can identify the first and second actions. So, read it for me, please.
10x plus 7 equals 57.
Okay, now, that's what it says at the moment. How do we read it as we've been taught in our previous videos? When we start this question, when you read it algebraically, we always start at the x. So even though you read it from left to right, now we're going to read it in a slightly different way. So x is being timed by 10. So we call this the first action. That's the first thing to be done to the x. And after the first action, we have the plus 7, which is called the second action. That's the second thing to be acted on. Now, Umar, which action do we move first as the rule? So we identify the actions. We said its first action is timed by 10. Second action is add 7. Which one do we move first when we're solving? Do we move the first action first? Or you always move the second or the last action first? We will solve in a reverse order to what we identified. So, the opposite of add 7 is?
Minus 7.
Minus 7. So 57 minus 7 will give us a total of 50. What is that for the moment? So the add 7 is gone. What we got left now is Zishan. We only got left now x is being what's been done to it?
Times by 10.
Times by 10. Opposite time by 10 is?
Divided by 10.
Divided by 10. So x is equal to 5. Done? That one? Okay, next question is yours, Hamza. I want you to read this question to me, and then I want you to identify the actions. Okay, little Hamza, this is the next level of your questions, by the way. Alright, now, read this for me. What does it say? As it read it.
15 equals 3, open bracket, 4x minus 7, close bracket.
Okay, lovely. Now, let's read it now with a mathematical eye. Not just reading it. What does it mean to us, and where do we start? So where do we start this question?
3 times 4x.
So you always start reading the question at, to find out what's been done to the x. So what was the first thing to be done to the x? First thing to be done to the x was?
Times 4.
Time by 4. So that is our first action. Okay, Zishan, what was the second thing to be done to the x? After it was time by 4, then it was?
Minus 7.
Minus 7, well done. And then after it was minus 7, Umar, what was the last thing to be done to it? So it was time by 4, minus 7, then all of it was?
Times by 3.
Time by 3, and that's called our third action. So what we've done here in this question, we have identified the actions starting with x, and that is a skill that will run through all the other disciplines of algebra when it comes to simplifying and when it comes to solving the equations. You've got to be able to have that skill of starting from x and realizing what was done first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, okay, and then you start unpacking it. If you don't learn that skill, you struggle later on as well. So, let's change color. Okay, it's like 6 minutes so far. Now, Zishan, which action do I move first? We've identified first, second, third action.
Third action.
Third action. Opposite time by 3 is?
Divided by 3.
Oh, okay. Divided by 3. So now we have 15 divided by 3. That will give us an answer of 5. Now, when the multiply by 3 moves to the left hand side, what happens to the brackets, Zishan? Do they stay there or do they disappear?
They disappear.
They disappear because the 5, the 3 times by 3 is holding them there. When that goes, the brackets go. So what we left with here is 4x minus 7. So, Mr. Umar, what do we move next? What's next in order to be moved? So third action goes first, then the?
Second action.
So the second action is minus 7. Opposite of minus 7 is? Plus 7. So we have 5 add 7 on this side. That will give us total of? 12. And we have left on this side is 4x. So Samia, what's the last thing that we need to move now?
The time by 4.
The time by 4, which was our first action. Opposite time by 4 is?
Divided by 4.
Divided by 4. So we copy, as you can see now, equals get copied down, the numbers flow down, the x's stay in the same line. So we copy the x here again, copy the equal here. So 12 divided by 4 has an answer of 3. Okay. Right. We're happy with that, folks? Is that good? Okay, right. I think we're going to stop this video here and we're going to start this next question here. This double-sided equation in a new video. Please come and join us back in that next video. Thank you very much. Sorry.